What's up, guys? Today we're at Petra in Jordan. We're carefully stepping over all this horse crap. We're walking through this Supe right now, which is this 2-kilometer path that goes underneath these towering sandstone cliffs. We were going to do a video about our last day in Wadi Rum, which was when we were doing the camel ride. And we found out pretty much as soon as we got up on top of the camel that the top of a camel is a terrible place to try and film anything from. If you've ever been on a camel before, there's a lot of up and down and side to side movement that happens when you're up there. Yeah, and if you're inexperienced, it's definitely a two-hand situation. So we kind of just scrapped that. So the reason that we decided to do the camel ride in Wadi Rum was because when we were in Egypt, the camels are very poorly cared for. They look all whipped and skinny, and they kind of just like funnel tourists back and forth all day and never get a break. In Wadi Rum, all the camels are owned by one of the Bedouins. There are no wild camels out there because they're actually quite expensive. They just leave the camels to roam the desert themselves. The larger camels, they'll tie their front legs together so that they can walk, but they can't run. So they're easy to collect when you need them. So the camels basically just get to live a pretty natural life, just grazing the desert, except for when they're needed. They have a really great setup there where the animals are kept in a really great way. So if you're looking to do a camel ride, Wadi Rum is definitely a great place to do it.
Yeah.
This is the treasury. If you've seen Indiana Jones, you'll know that this is the site where the Holy Grail is kept. So they have wisely added this rope and no entry sign, because even if you remember to kneel and you know how Jehovah is spelled in Latin, you still only have like a 5% chance of picking the right grail, so your face is probably going to end up melting off. They just recently put up the no entry sign and rope. Very wise choice. It's actually just a tomb.
Dog befriend number 2.
Yesterday this dog seemed kind of vicious, but I guess it was just because there was some kid throwing rocks at it. It like barked and growled. It was really frightening, but he's just a sweetheart.
We're gonna go up there now.
We have found the beginning of our trail.
Is this the beginning? I thought the beginning was over there.
We have found the beginning of our trail.
Oh.
To the top. I don't have anything else to say.
You're in my shot.
I'm in her shot. I have to move.
If you're gonna come to Petra, or Jordan in general, I guess, make sure you come around this time of year, February-ish. It is a little bit cooler, but there's literally nobody here. I feel like we have Petra all to ourselves. This donkey has a really cool haircut. I can see if he wants pets.
He's getting ready to kick you.
Yeah, he doesn't want pets. You shouldn't be in Petra then. We're heading out now to go find some food because we're hungry, but we're gonna be back tonight for Petra at night. So as you can tell, it's not daytime anymore. We did find food and then we went back to the hotel and just worked. So you guys didn't really miss very much, but as you can see, it's nighttime. We're at Petra and we're gonna watch Petra by night. Don't really know what it is, but I'm sure it's gonna be cool. Da 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 da
Alright, what's up guys? We're still in Petra, coming at you from the town of Bedrock. Petra by night last night, it was way too dark to film almost anything. What was really cool was as you walked down the Seek, like in between those two cliffs, the moon was really bright, so it created this sort of carpet right along the middle of the Seek of a moonlit path to walk down, which was really neat. And then they had lanterns sort of lining the sides of it. And then when you get down to Petra, they had all the lanterns out front. But I guess the thing is, it cost 30 Canadian dollars per person.
They don't seem to have a limit of how many people can actually go view it. And it's supposed to be like a quiet, serene, sort of just peaceful experience where music is played. The host tells a little bit about Petra, which I couldn't hear because I was too far in the back. And getting hundreds of people to be quiet is a lot more difficult than, say, getting 50 people quiet.
It's okay. So it's basically a moonlit path and a bunch of lanterns and Petra in the dark. So for 30 bucks, up to you.
Going to the monastery today. Going on pilgrimage.
Up there.
Way up there.
Cookies are a real problem for me. They're just like ones that my grandma makes. They're like 2 sugar cookies with some sort of jam in the middle, and they're covered in icing. And she only makes them on the rarest of occasions, so I've had them only a handful of times in my whole life. But right around the corner from the hotel we're staying at, you can buy a lot of these things for not very much money. So... Oh, that's the monastery right there. Hello. Some people might think that we're dumb for not knowing this, but I always thought that the terms donkey and mule were interchangeable and they meant the same thing, until we saw a guy coming down from the monastery and I said, "Whoa, that's a big donkey," and he said, "This is a mule." So we had to look it up, and apparently a mule is a male donkey crossbred with a female horse. And then there's a hinny, which is the other way around. And what's interesting about mules is that mules are sterile. You can't breed 2 mules together to get another mule. You gotta cross donkeys. Mule. One of each, for comparison's sake.